Each random question is peeling back the layers of the onion so we get right to the heart of the limiting belief or the emotion that you are holding on to.
Pretty freaking amazing since she has no idea what's going on with my mom. Just got all that from tapping in.
And I want you to notice how your body reacts and how you feel about it.
Those are things you wouldn't know. So, I just think this whole thing is like so crazy, not in like a crazy way, but like in a holy shit, it's real kind of a way. Welcome to the Cheaper Than Bail podcast. My name's Camber, the 20-year-old that knows nothing about life.
And I'm Emily, the 50-year-old who also knows really nothing. And we've brought with us today Leslie, who knows a lot of things, a lot of very important things that she's going to share with us. I could go on and on about her. She's an intuitive healer. She uses multiple modalities that are just amazing. I just came from a session, so I'm super calm. So I'm going to let her introduce herself a little bit more specifically.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Leslie Gipson. I am an intuitive healer, but also an educational kinesiologist. And that's the foundation of the work that I do, is basically looking at how is your body responding and what does your body and your systems need for you to find balance and heal. And as she said, I use a bunch of different modalities. So in my own healing journey, I just tried this and tried that. And then if it worked for me, I learned it and brought it into what I do. So it's very eclectic and it's kind of hard to explain. You just kind of have to experience.
Yeah, unless I make her pick one particular like modality, it's hard to kind of explain what she does. But this is part of our witchy woo woo series, I think, because I found it really interesting that Camber, who's 20, didn't believe in all these alternative new age kind of different remedies for healing. In me at 50, I embrace all of them. I love them all. And I'm a therapist. So people expect sometimes that I'm like talk therapy and psychiatry of the way. And I'm not like that. So a lot of what we've been doing is trying to dispel the witchy woo woo for Camber. So she just watched a session. What did you think?
Well, yeah, I just watched the session and I found it pretty cool. Especially with the give and take thing. I thought that was really interesting because she explained it to me as like you're walking into a room and feeling other people's energy, and it's kind of the give and take of it all. I found that really interesting, and I mean, I saw how Emily was like really frantic before this, and now she's chilled out.
Yeah,
which
definitely. And it was interesting because most of you following us probably already know about me finding out that my mom was murdered. Leslie knew nothing about that, and all of that came up in one form or another in the work that we just did. And so Camber knows all the story, and so Camber got to watch that like in process. So 0 to 10, how much of a believer are you in this witchy woo woo?
I think y'all have me up to a 6 at this point. I started out as a 1. I'm like a 6 between the tarot and the intuitive. I think it's actually really cool. And because like there would be no way.
You need a session.
I guess I do.
I think that would be probably the.
And the same was for me of like, I don't really know about that until I experienced it. And then there's really no way to explain it. Of like how do you know, or how did the cards know, or how did it's an energy thing.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely get that.
Yeah.
Shall we start off with a question?
Yeah. So
Nope, you're good.
No, have at it.
How did you start like getting in? How did you find the intuitive healing, and then how did you like kind of reform into it?
So it's a really long story, but I'll condense it.
Okay.
I've always been open to this since I was a teenager. So a teenager back in the 80s. Yeah, I'm 49. So teenager back in the 80s when we had no internet, we had no cell phones. just sort of like you knew what you knew because you were exposed to it.
Mhm.
Somehow, I got a hold of a palmistry book
Okay.
and was very interested in that. And then I found that I was very intuitive. I just knew things.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about tarot. I didn't know anything about cards or any of that stuff. But I would use. I had some playing cards that I would use as, I guess, in the form of tarot. Like people would ask me questions and I would answer with cards. And I was really interested in that, and it just felt natural. It felt like what I was supposed to be doing. But again, in this time period was whenever Satanism and all of that started coming into the area. Locally, we had a incident.
Oh, that's some folklore I don't know about.
That involved that.
Really?
Yeah, and
That
it
explains
was
some of the resistance, huh?
a lot of the resistance. It was very traumatic to the community. I live in a very small town, and to know this was out there, and then me to be doing what I was doing, but I didn't know why I was doing it or what. It was just it just felt natural. So immediately I squashed that. I do not want to be associated with that at all anymore.
Did you
ever.
fear that it was something like that? Did it make you question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know, and there was no one that I could talk to because nobody else knew or did it, or
Yeah.
So fast forward whole bunch of years, and I just started to look for something else. Like I just didn't feel like I was fulfilling my purpose, I guess. Happily married, great job, wonderful kids, but like that part of me was still like knocking, I guess.
For sure, yeah.
So, and I had some things that I wanted to work on, and I just started finding people. And the educational kinesiology piece, that really kind of what started me back on that track was the program that I used was meant for children and people who had learning disabilities.
Okay.
Which my kids had some difficulties. So I started looking into that in order to help them, but in the process started helping myself.
So wonderful.
And I thought, well, this is really cool. Let's share this with everybody. And found through the years that I leaned away from the kids and the educational piece of it, although it's still amazing for that. And I got a little more into the other, like bringing in other things. I've worked with all different kinds of people all over the place, and it just works.
For sure, I think that's really interesting, especially how it started and how it's going now, which I think is really cool. How has it helped you, like with your own healing journey?
So for me, just having the tools, and you're a therapist, so you get this. Having the tools doesn't mean you use the tools.
Not on yourself.
Not on yourself. It's very, very hard for me to work on myself. Honestly, because I don't want to dive off the deep end into my own never-ending pools.
Sometimes you need it reflected back to you.
And not be able to get myself out.
Yeah.
So to have someone that can help me. But it's allowed me to understand what happened in my childhood with the whole, having these knowings. That was kind of the turning point, the first big turning point for me. So, anything in childhood sticks with us. Also, it has helped me to understand generationally some of the things that I'm carrying, and the patterns that keep showing up like throughout my family.
I like that. Yeah. I think that's definitely one thing I struggle with too, is generational. Oh, that's a hard one.
Generational trauma.
Thank you. I think a lot of the women in my family, going as back as my great grandmother, from what I can remember, we've all struggled with the same we've all struggled with like the same things, and me and my sister are the first ones that are really trying to fix that pattern. You know what I mean? But put the pinpoint, pin the tail on the donkey. You know what I mean? So that's definitely something I'm working on now, which it's a struggle, because you're looking at the whole family and you're like, you realize really what's going on, and it's scary. But yeah, I definitely relate to that.
Well, congratulations on being the ones to try to turn it around. It's hard. It's not easy.
No.
No, I think it gets glorified a little bit, like when you're the cycle breaker, that you're somehow treated like a queen and like everybody's so thankful for you, but it is not like that.
No, everybody
People-
Or
hates
the
it.
opposite.
It's
It's
literally the opposite. The generations after you are resentful for you, what trauma you did let through. The generations before you are resentful that you got it right and they haven't. Like, there's no love for that role at all.
You almost become the black sheep. You're,
100%.
you don't fit in with the ones who haven't healed, and then like you're so eager to pass on the knowledge and the healing, and people are still, they're just resistant.
Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't have chose this on purpose. So maybe God can realign my life. Now it's not too late. I'm only 50. So one of the things we wanted to talk about was how difficult it is, like making money healing, because unlike doctors or nurses or professions like that, where people know, hey, it's after business hours, you don't just contact this person. Like, I feel like I get called 24/7 with everybody's aunts, sisters, brothers, uncles, hairdresser needs help right now. Can you help? And it's like, we're not allowed to say no. And then charging people, everybody wants free therapy, free healing, free this and free that. And so, like, I called it healing as a side hustle. It's really not a side hustle. It's a gift given to us. And like monetizing that, I think we're made to feel some kind of way about.
It's hard. It really is hard, because I would literally do what I do for free, but I can't.
Well, it's nice to eat and have a roof over your head,
well,
too.
and even if, I don't necessarily need the money, it's an energy exchange.
Mm-hmm.
If, analogy, if you have a kid who you give them everything, they appreciate nothing,
Yeah.
But if you have one that has to work for it, they have to pay their own bills, they have to pay their vehicle insurance and stuff like that. They're going to take care of that vehicle more than the one that was just given to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing. It's a value. If I give it to you for free, then I'm telling you that I don't really value what I'm offering you. So, maybe it'll work for you, maybe it won't. So even if it does work, you are less inclined to appreciate it because I offered it to you for free. Whereas if I said, hey, I'm going to charge you X amount of dollars, then you make that choice to value the experience.
You've
for that
invested
amount
in
of money.
yourself.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I've never thought about it like that. And I
guarantee you know someone who's been given things.
Oh, 100%.
And they maybe didn't appreciate them or didn't take care of them as they should. And the opposite, someone who has struggled and done everything for themselves and value all of that because it's, it's theirs. They work for it.
For sure.
So it's sort of the same concept.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get a lot of people coming in wanting me to do their healing for them, and I'm like, look, I don't even like doing my own healing. It sucks and it's hard, and I don't want to do that. I definitely am not doing yours. You're a stranger. I don't know nothing about you. I'm not doing your healing for you.
Yeah.
What other questions do you got? How was it to watch that? Because I've never let somebody just watch me have that done before. It's really deeply personal. Yeah, you see how she tapped right into what was happening for me. Yeah. Like, she can expose parts of me that, like, I keep hidden that, like, and I don't know what's going to come out exactly. So it was different for me to let somebody be present.
Wow, I feel so special.
Made me feel very vulnerable, and I don't like that. You guys can't see it.
I think it was definitely really interesting because I've never witnessed anything intuitive, or the only thing witchy woo-woo that I've experienced is the tarot reading.
And that was like days ago.
It literally blew my mind though. Like, I was quite frankly in shock. So So just watching the energy exchange and then me not knowing what it was at first and then asking it kind of made sense because I saw your reaction and I saw you kind of tap into it, which was really interesting. And then the things you were bringing up, because of course there's no way you would have known that. And I think that's one thing that's kind of blowing my mind. Because if I just were to watch it without you bringing any of the things up, I'd be like, okay,
That could have been
okay.
anything. No, it was
Yeah,
very
sure.
specific.
Well,
and
that
describe
stuff-
how I was literally stomping. Tell people how, like, you should demonstrate how I was having a little 2-year-old temper tantrum when I came in.
Yeah.
I literally was like, I'm gonna light effing things on fire. I'm
She
like,
wants to
I don't
burn down
even,
the city.
I don't even know what exactly I was complaining about, but I was like revving out of 10, and like now I'm so chill. Like, it's just,
It's so interesting
feeling.
to watch, I think, because I've seen you do that a couple times, especially when we did it with Robin. You were really one about to go off the deep end.
Robin tended to escalate me though, because she was telling me more and more and more. She has not, and please forgive me, Robin. She has not fine-tuned her gift to know when to or how to necessarily close it up. You see how Leslie closes it off at the end.
Mhm.
Like there's going to be homework. We're not doing it all right now. There's going to be so that's the difference between like somebody who's seasoned in their gift and somebody who's still learning about their gift. I think.
No, it definitely makes sense, and I guess I didn't think about it like that because I don't know, when she was reading me, at least yours was a lot. You
can just put a period.
So much
It was
more.
a lot.
You have so much more going on, and I guess for mine, it was things that I already kind of knew, but I didn't want to come to terms with. So it just validated me to where I feel like you had more questions, and I think I see where closing it off would help for sure.
Like one of the questions that you sent me, because I don't like doing things if I don't know kind of the direction they're going to go. Not that I like super prep, but I just I kind of need to know.
Yeah.
So one of the questions that you asked me was about how hard it was to make money or have a business or even share when you have a healing modality sort of gift or profession or whatever you want to call it. And I did want to touch on that because I know that there are people out there who have gifts and they don't acknowledge them or use them because of the fear of what will people think. And I still struggle with that. Like that is still something that it is hard for me to just come out and say like the story about me and when I was a teenager. I don't tell people that because it makes me look bad. Like well, what were you doing?
Right.
So if you have a gift, because it is a gift, well, if we all have it, if you acknowledge it, and you want to use it, I guess the most advice I guess I could give is just that you have to trust yourself. You will know if it's a good thing. And honestly, who cares what other people think? And until you embody that confidence of this is what I do. I'm going to do it. If you don't like it, you're welcome to leave. And that's harsh, but the people who are going to be okay with it will gravitate toward you. I mean, I think we met at like an expo.
We did. We met at like one of those kinds of expos, which I was so surprised to find in Southeast Texas. And I found it at the last minute, and like people were cleaning up even.
It's the only time that's ever happened.
Yeah, it's never happened again.
It's never been another one. But I've done that like throughout especially the last 15 years of my life. The more I step into who I am and what I do, the more people find me.
Okay.
The more opportunities. Just out of the blue, hey, do you want to do this podcast? And I was just like, yeah, because obviously I'm meant to do it, or you wouldn't have asked. So just trust your own knowing, and trust that everything's going to fall in place for you. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard.
It is a hard gift to have.
Because it's hard to explain and people don't understand. So if you have one person that supports you, hang tight to that person. If you have two or three, then you're lucky. But there will be that one person, and just keep relying on them to pick you up as you move forward. Don't give up on the gifts that you have.
I love that advice. That's such good
Me
advice.
too.
Yeah, because it is hard.
And it's really hard. It took me a long time to step into my gift. And I don't really talk about how I do therapy because people don't usually ask. They assume I went to college and graduate school and I do it that way. But I very much channel while I'm in a therapy session. It's very much other than me speaking. And clients pick up on that relatively quickly about like, how'd you know to ask that? I wasn't saying anything. It's like, I don't know how I do that, but it's a gift I was given. And I can tell you when I wasn't following the gift, God let me know that. Like life was not straightforward or easy. I was supposed to be doing it. And whenever I start to veer off, he's like, nope, go back.
And we all have that intuition. I mean, your phone rings and you instantly know, oh, hey, that's my sister. Or, hey, that's my mom calling me. And then you pick it up and that's who it is. Or you think about them and then your phone rings. Or, So we all have that. It's just allowing ourselves to acknowledge that we are connected.
That's really, I've never really thought about it like that because that happens to me a lot. And
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it happens to everybody.
It does.
I don't know. I think it's definitely frowned upon and like from my family. And so like I've never really acknowledged it, or like when I saw somebody doing it, I was like, that's bullshit. You know what I mean? But like I would never say that to them. I just go on my merry way. But I think it's definitely something I'm very open to learning more about, especially with all types of healing. And I don't know, I really like it, honestly.
So it sounds like you were taught to not trust your own intuition
no.
or people who felt like they had intuition.
Yeah. I mean, my family is very stick to the same things. We all, like, it's like, I don't necessarily know how to explain it, but we've all had a role and we all stick to that role 24/7. We don't veer off the path.
Like, your script and you
Delaware,
follow it.
You know what I mean? It's such a
your
small
lines
state.
were this.
Everybody is doing the same thing. You know what I mean? You're either in construction working on the chicken plant or that's it really. Like, that's all. Hicks and crackheads.
Oh, gosh.
And you ended up here.
I saved her.
She did save me.
From a mundane life of, I don't know.
Yeah.
For sure. What questions do we not think to ask you that we should ask?
I don't know. I don't know.
One of the questions that came up for me was like, do you ever feel any like guilt with monetizing your gift? Like when
Yes, lots of guilt. And one of my people, my main person who supports me and cheerleads for me is my sister. Mm-hmm. And she is like, no, ma'am, you're not doing that for free. Because I'm like, hey, this is and I think I'm just, she's like, no, ma'am, you're going to charge them. And I'm like, I'll charge this much. She said, no, you're going to charge them this. Oh, okay. And I hated it at first. I hated it because I'm like, no, I can help. I can do it. And she's like,
yeah,
you charge for it, and I've learned that I always felt guilty because this is, well, not so much this area, but where I'm at, it's very low income and, and I have that low income mindset. We can't afford to do these things. But branching out, like, coming down here some, if people have money and they think they want it, they will do it. Or they will 100% find the money for it. Or, so it really helped me to be more confident in offering my services, because if you want it, you'll figure out how to pay for it. That's not my responsibility. Of whether or not you can afford it. If you kind of flip it, I should feel amazing about that because they feel they value me enough
Mm-hmm.
to have a session with me versus going out to eat one night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
And not
so,
just that, but valuing your gift. So I think that's really special because I mean it is something, and it's people pay for therapy every day.
Yeah.
You should.
Or like woodworking, or like there's so many like art, like great artists. Like we pay money for all these different things, and I feel like healing is the last frontier in terms of.
But it's one of
Like-
the most important things.
yeah, and people will find you. Like I've worked with people and had opportunities. I don't even know how they found me. You know, it just out of the blue. I get an email
Meant to
or I get a
be.
text or something, and I'm like, oh, wow. So that lets me know I'm doing something right.
Mhm.
Somewhere the dots got connected,
Mhm.
and you know,
Love that.
So I guess the moral of the story is that healing should not be a side hustle. It really should be able to be a career that people value and respect, because it does take a lot of energy to do that work, and it's a lot of responsibility on the healers to make sure that they're taking good care of themselves too.
yeah. But it's going to start with the healer. It's going to start with them because they have to value themselves before anybody else is going to value them. And that is the hardest lesson that I've learned. Just put yourself out there, charge what you're worth, and the people will come to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they don't come to you, then you're not in the right area, and just kind of, you know, look somewhere else or try something else. Because people where I live, they don't do sessions with me. Like a handful in the last 10 years.
Wow.
It has been, I have to travel. I have to go other places where people are open, I guess.
More like open-minded about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay.
Yeah. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's part of the journey, is to be able to explore other people's and
And that was something that was like really hard for me, valuing myself, but then of like, why are the people around me not seeing value in what I do? But understanding that that's okay.
Right. They're just not ready.
Or, you know, I'm not meant to do that with them, and that's okay.
For sure. I mean, I get that, especially where I'm from. I don't think people wouldn't go for that. And for me personally, I would have never been even considerably open to any of the healing or anything if I never met Emily, or if I never went to go get mental health help. So I think the universe will put you on a path, and it'll put people in your path. And I think that's really special, and just trust in yourself and trust in what's going on. Yes, I've really been trying to trust my gut lately, and it's put me here, so it's done something.
You want to do our baggage question?
Yes.
So at the end, we take a viewer question about baggage and ask you to answer it.
Okay.
So how do you?
I'm literally sweating.
Oh, that one's done. Sorry. How do I stop people pleasing? I think you've talked a lot about that so far already.
Yes, because that is me. That I'm the connoisseur people pleaser.
So one small step, if somebody is really in like the neck deep in people pleasing, what's one small step they can do?
Just listen to your gut. If it doesn't feel good to you, it's not for you. And like really embodying, as I said earlier, like if you don't like it, that's okay. You don't have to like it. But you have to make yourself feel good, because if you're doing something that is against your beliefs, or something that you don't want to do, or a cycle that you're in that you're just not, like, you know, it's not for you, the longer you do that, the more ill you will become.
Mm-hmm.
Physically, mentally, and emotionally, you're going to make yourself sick. And they don't care. They don't care that you're not happy. They don't care that they've got you in this box or whatever it is. And they're going to do it until you tell them to stop.
And she's saying they and her best DJ Khaled. impersonation. That's who she means by they. Everybody.
Everyone.
Nobody
Everyone.
is going to be like, oh, I see that you've given too much and I'm not going to ask of you anymore. Nobody is going to do that for you.
And hard truth, you are going to lose people. You're going to lose people left and right whenever you set boundaries or you do what makes you happy. They're going to fall off.
I call it shedding. Shed the
And
people
that's
who
okay.
are no longer supposed to be helping you with your lessons, and it makes room for new people who are helping you with the next level of your lessons.
But listen to your body. Your body will tell you whether it's for you or not. If you're asked to do something and you immediately get queasy or you feel your body tense up or you get a headache, your body is saying, no, that's not for you.
So interesting fact, as I was leaving work today, my throat was closing and I was like, oh, I'm going to lose my voice before this podcast session. And I was like, I know what she's going to say about that.
And what would I have said?
What would you say?
What would I have said about your throat closing?
That I don't want to say the things that I'm saying, that you're going to have me say anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I let you hug me.
I did.
That was a big deal.
Did you
Don't
see
y'all
how
try it.
aggressively she pushed me away though?
Did
Yeah.
I? I'm
Yes, she
sorry.
did. It's
You're like, okay, enough.
Like, that was a long hug.
And that's okay. But when you get to the point that like it's just a natural, that's fine. You got what you needed in that moment, but you're not done.
I feel like I'm done for today.
Maybe for today.
Well, thank you everybody for watching.
Put your questions for Leslie in the bottom, and we will add her links and how to get in contact with her so you can get your own personal healing done. And
Oh, don't forget about the retreats too. Can I plug that?
absolutely.
Okay, so because as I said, I don't do a lot of like one-on-one sessions anymore. I do offer healing retreats. So women's wellness, I've got a couples coming up in a couple of weeks. But basically, you come to this beautiful place and get all the things.
All the healing at one time.
Yeah, I bring in other practitioners, and you just get like whatever your body, mind, soul needs. We have a modality for that.
And it's customized specifically to you. That's really the biggest selling point, is that she taps in intuitively and sees what you specifically need. So check out those links too.